Thank you for the CSE for having me here today. My name is Pratap Sandhu. I am the founder and CEO of Pangea Natural Foods. Pangea Natural Foods is a wholesaler, retailer, and manufacturer of natural food products all across North America. A bit of background about myself. We'll get around the next slide will showcase more of our team and directors, but I'm born and raised in Vancouver. I played professional soccer in Europe for a few years. Been very passionate about health and wellness, and that's where kind of Pangea came to fruition. My family's been in the food industry for over 20 years, and utilizing those same network, that's where I began with Pangea. And the way it started was I had actually phone calls from Save On Foods and Loblaws during COVID, and what I realized is a lot of other companies were using either co-packers or importing a lot of food products from overseas. So there's a big gap that was there for the food industry there. Chat a bit about our newest acquisition, which I'm really excited about, is Glory Juice, which is a juice company that's located in Vancouver. Glory Juice has been there for over 9 years, one of the only certified organic juice companies located in BC. The previous owner, who I'm very close with, his name is Mike Drever. He used to own a company known as Cruise Ship Center, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Cruise Ship Center was then acquired by Expedia, and after that, Mike actually began Glory Juice. Pangea currently has 3 products. Our first product was our handmade vegan patty. There's a lot of companies out there that do make patties, but what we were very passionate about was actually creating a patty that's handmade, where you can actually see every single ingredient in every bite. So our patty is located in about 200 retailers across Canada. Our second product we brought out, which is our organic clarified butter, or better known as ghee. This is actually the best-selling butter in Save On Foods right now. It's located in over 500 retailers across Canada. And then our most recent product, which is our Munchie Mix, which is actually located on a few select airlines. So we're targeting business class airlines, and we're actually targeting a lot of the school industry as well, because it's packed in a peanut-free facility, is a double seal, so it's considered childproof. So pretty cool product there. As you can see, they're all very diversified products here. You know, we manufacture everything ourselves, we distribute everything ourselves, and we have a very diverse network, and our team is actually very well versed. There's the next slide, please. Amazing. Just to chat about our team, I'm really passionate and really proud of the team that we have. I really feel like it's easier to make a good product, but to build a team is really what sets you apart. Talked a bit about myself. On the very far corner, you'll see an individual named as Nishir Varani, a very successful entrepreneur who created a company known as Golden Boy Foods. Golden Boy Foods was ended up acquired actually by Kraft in 2015 there. So that was a great exit for him, sold it for over $400 million, and he's a director and founder as well as myself. Our newest advisor, who we recently brought on board, Jordan Melville, another successful entrepreneur. His family used to own 50% of Boston Pizza. He actually was a major part of franchising. He opened up over 500 locations in less than 15 years across North America. And that's kind of what our target is for Glory Juice. Glory Juice, we currently have 3 locations, only located in Vancouver, and our target is to build a franchise model, which we've already begun, and to open up more locations across Canada and then so on North America. Mike Drever, I touched a bit about him. He's our advisor. He's a current CEO of Glory Juice, and then also the founder of Cruise Ship Center. As we continue to bring more products out under the Pangea umbrella and Glory, Mark is going to be a key part of us. He actually owns a very well-known tea company. He makes all the tea for Bloom and David's Tea, which I'm sure a lot of you have either tried or seen on the shelf. So we are actually going to be targeting and getting into a lot more of the beverage industry as well. And the key part is we manufacture everything ourselves and we distribute everything ourselves. Another individual on the far side who is a very close friend of mine, Karm Samal. I'm sure everyone here has either used or seen Daily Hive. He's actually the CEO and founder of Daily Hive. So another key part of our team in terms of marketing and in terms of PR. So very excited to have some of these individuals a part of our team. And as we continue to grow, the whole growth plan is to continue long-term growth and to exit within 3 to 5 years to be acquired. Next slide. these are just some of our retail partners. Under our Pangea umbrella, what's so unique is, again, we distribute our products. So there's a lot of other companies out there that need our distribution services. So these are just 3 of our partners that we have currently. The plug is actually based out in the US in LA. They provide a beverage which is considered the last shot of the night. So if you had a few drinks, you don't want to feel a hangover, have a drink, and in the morning you should not have a severe hangover. Daily Greens, which is a Vancouver-based company, they pack a lot of powdered mixes, and again, we just got them into Choices and Whole Foods. And most recent one, which I'm really, really excited about, is Big White Water, which is a Kelowna-based company, which will be producing the first hydrogen-infused water in Canada, and we have a private partnership with them. And for each can we sell, we will actually be donating 10 cents to any charity that we are. Some retail partners we have, just some to list some, Save On Foods, Fresh Street, IGA, Real Canadian Superstore, Whole Foods. Glory is very excited. We actually supply the Vancouver Canucks, and we have a lot of the Canucks players who will be joining our advisory team, as well as joining our team to do a lot of brand ambassadors. And then also, as well as YVR, we recently got there last week, so you'll see us in pre-security as well as post-security for some of our products there as well. So what really sets us aside for Pangea and Glory Juice? We control the whole supply chain from manufacturing to distribution to private labeling to co-packing, as well as opening up our own retail stores, which we already have 3 of. We're only been incorporated less than 2 years, and this year we're targeted to hit over $5 million in revenue, and that's pretty quick. But that could not be possible without the team that we have. And the whole goal for our long-term growth for the next 3 years is to open up more locations in terms of a franchise model and just have a brick and mortar location. And if we talked about health and wellness and innovation, there's not one single cold press or organic juice company that's located in BC that we could definitely recognize. And we're so passionate to communicate about health and wellness and innovation and to talk about sustainability. Some of our products that we have at Glory are a great product such as our almond milk, and we press our almonds and we create our almond milk. But what happens with the pulp? We actually reuse it and we create our own granola from that. So talking about reusing product and using any other byproduct that we have, we're very passionate about that, and we continue to do so.
Good afternoon, everyone. Super happy to be here, excuse me, with all these other amazing sustainable companies. I started Boosh Food in 2018, and it was always a very purpose-driven personal journey for me. I wanted to help people eat healthier meals, eat your veg. We're not saying necessarily you have to be vegan. We're saying just eat more plants, and all of us in the world will be better for it. So the name Boosh came from a slightly nonsensical version of mouth. I know it's spelt differently, Boosh, but it was just kind of a fun play on words. If you look up that spelling of Boosh, it means to live life with joy. So we put a smiley in our logo, and we started making plant-based food in 2019, rolled out into grocery stores. We started with a frozen line of ready-to-eat meals. We help solve the issue of what do you eat if you're trying to eat plant-based? You don't always want a hamburger patty, you want to have something ready to eat. So we have beautiful curries and all kinds of yummy dishes that can be ready in minutes. After that, we went public in 2021, and through that, we were able to make some small acquisitions, which were great. We have a lovely cheese company and a pate company, and we rebranded that into Amuse Boosh, which means to amuse the palate. It's a little appetizer, so that worked very well. And then in March of last year, we purchased Beanfields, which is a much larger company than us. It's a US-based firm that was doing previously about 16 million US. It's a bean-based chip, and it was available in about 7,000 retailers, and very, very successful in the top level of sales. Not necessarily taking care of the back end so much, so we spent the last year really refining that, cutting costs, fixing the supply chain, and now we are working very hard to keep going with the company and the sales and introducing it to more and more retailers all the time. So we are currently in Canada and the US, and Mexico is just starting up this summer, so we'll be shipping out there, and lots of exciting things to come. We don't have a lot of time to talk today, so I didn't want to cover everything, but really exciting time for the industry. And this is the sales of Better For You snacks in North America, accounted for nearly $27 billion US at the end of 2011, and this number is expected to double by 2023. So we're in a really good sector. And the chips themselves are 4 grams of protein per serving. I hope some of you have had a chance to try them. They have a great taste. They're very bold. They're always vegan. They're gluten-free. They're non-GMO. They have a great rating. Our biggest issue right now is actually keeping up with demand. You know, it has been, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's been an interesting year because we purchased the company right in March when the capital markets weren't exactly our friend. We had enough money to kind of relaunch, and so the last year we've been just trying to keep up with the demand, and the demand is high. So we are very excited about that, and lots of good things to come.
It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you. I'm the CEO of FendX Technologies, Inc. We're focused on making lives safer through nanotechnology to prevent the transmission of viruses and bacteria from high-touch surface areas. Here's my forward-looking statement. I seem to be the only one that has one. Basically, we licensed our technology from McMaster University back in 2021 and are developing film and spray nano coatings that can protect high-touch surfaces that are prone to contamination. And what we're really excited about is the fact that we've shown some great results in McMaster's lab. We show that whether it's a virus, and these are COVID-like viruses, or bacteria, and it's MRSA, it's Pseudomonas aeruginosus, some of the bad guys, that we can prevent adhesion of those bacteria and viruses by more than 99%. And if you just look at it's the right on your side, this is just an illustration in terms of how our surfaces work. This orange on the left is bacteria or viruses, colonies, and on the right, this is treated with our nanotechnology, and you can see there's significantly less contamination. How we work is very unique. It's very different than other films that are on the market. We actually repel. And as a consequence of repelling, bacteria and viruses cannot adhere to the surface and replicate. And as a consequence of that, they can't form colonies and they can't be transmitted, which is really the background to which makes our coatings as reducing the adherence and reducing the transmission as much as they do. There are other coatings on the market. They're metal-based or they have other chemicals in them. Those films, the bacteria or the viruses actually need to stick to them. They need to replicate in order to be killed. And there is still a potential that those viruses or bacteria can still be transmitted on surfaces that are touched. Whereas ours, it repels instantly, and bacteria and viruses do not stick. We have, as I say, we have film and spray technologies. Our sprays, we've shown, in addition to having tremendous repelling properties, they also will kill any residual bugs that may remain on the surfaces. We've got quite a robust patent portfolio, 3 families of patents. They're pending. The most important one is currently under prosecution, and we hope to have it approved in the next year or so. What's the problem we're solving? Well, we all know the problem. We're all aware of it now. COVID-19 is front and center, or has been, and you know, there are a lot of pathogenic bugs out there that kill people, and a lot of them are in hospitals. In fact, in the U.S., hospital-acquired infections is one of the top leading causes of death, and it costs the healthcare system a lot of money, as you can see here. This is what we are trying to tackle to contribute to reducing the transmission. And up on the right up there, the industries we're focused on are hospitals, where there is a high prevalence of these potentially harmful pathogens. But we're also looking at potentially other industries or applications where there are high-touch surfaces that are prone to contamination. What's interesting about our spray is that we believe it's going to even provide us with potentially more applications beyond healthcare, beyond other high-touch industries as well. So we're pretty excited about that. We just recently licensed that technology from McMaster, and we're in the process of developing it. What we're really excited about at FendX is the fact that the formulation for our film, which is called Repel Rep film, has been adapted to commercial manufacturing with our manufacturer in the United States, who is a globally recognized film manufacturer. They have shown that they can adapt the formulation to their commercial machinery. And we just announced it last Thursday, and so we're pretty excited about this because this is a huge milestone for us, taking it from the lab to actually a commercial operation. So the next step back is to do small-scale commercial scale-up with the intent on testing the films. If those films test well, then we will potentially move into commercial manufacturing by the end of 2023, and hopefully we'll have a product, Repel Rep film, available for commercialization in the United States, in Canada in 2024. We have a great team, a lot of experience. Anybody that wants to talk to me about them, they can, but we have a lot of commercial experience. Myself, in my teams, I've launched over 25 products in the US and globally, have done more than 50 M&A licensing deals, been the president of 2 pharmaceutical companies, tremendously experienced in building and growing successful businesses. Rose Zanuck is CFO. She's been involved in publicly traded companies in Canada for a few decades now. And Andrea Mulder, tremendous experience in marketing and sales. We have a great board. We have experience in capital markets and securities, you name it. We've got a well-rounded group, and we also have advisors to support us as we move our business forward. We have a strong pipeline where we are focused on line extensions to our films with the idea of creating more sustainable films. And in fact, the spray that we just in-licensed is one example of that, because our films require a plastic base equivalent to saran wrap in order to create those films. Our spray doesn't. So it's the first step towards eliminating plastics in the use of our coatings. We're also looking at coating catheters. We have some early research that shows that bacteria don't form colonies. Blood does not form blood clots, which are both tremendous culprits in the cause of occlusion of long-term indwelling catheters. So we're pretty excited about this project, and we're starting to move that forward in collaboration with McMaster. And I already talked about the spray as a huge opportunity for us. We have a number of companies that are interested in our technology and really want to partner with us. We're assessing many of them and intending to get into certain partnerships with the idea of expanding our pipeline and our portfolio. As well, we're going to look at licensing. I have a strong background in business development, licensing products, acquiring products to build out our infectious disease portfolio. And then we're going to launch in Canada first, as I said, but the US is a big opportunity for us. So if we're successful, that would be the next market we would go to, which I know well. And then we'd launch into global markets as well. So while we're a development company, we are definitely advancing our technology. Our first product is now with a commercial manufacturer. And our mission and our goal is to contribute to reducing the spread of bacteria and viruses in Canada as well as around the rest of the world to keep people's lives safer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here to introduce you to Beyond Oil, a very innovative and sustainable food tech company listed on the CSE under the ticker BOIL. So Beyond Oil offers the only solution on the market to removing free fatty acids and other contaminants from cooking oils. If you've ever been to a restaurant and worked in the back, you've probably seen oil that's been used for an extended period of time. It gets highly contaminated very quickly. This is also a situation where sustainability does actually save a great deal of money for the consumers. Our customers, in terms of restaurants and industrial frying groups, will save a huge amount of money by using our product and greatly increase their sustainability while they're at it. You go to the next slide. Next slide, please. So on the right, you can see an example of edible oil that's been used in a deep fryer for 3 days without Beyond Oil's product. Generally, cooking oil in deep fryers is only used for 3 to 5 days, kind of as a maximum, because of the contamination. So there are very strict rules around what the levels of contamination in the oil can be, and they build naturally as you heat the oil repeatedly. So free fatty acids, trans fats, polymers, all will build up in the oil. You can see the difference is quite dramatic. So three days of using Beyond Oil's product, 3 days without Beyond Oil's product, and the oil is likely at a point that it's not usable anymore and approaching toxicity. If you look next to it, you can see 9 days of using Beyond Oil's product. That oil would 100% be toxic and not usable without Beyond Oil's filtration. So it also removes all of the off colors, odors, and anything else that you don't want in the oil. So if you look to the left here, you can see the actual product, which is a powder, a dry powder that you dump into the oil every day while you're using it. And as it binds and absorbs all the contamination that's in the oil that builds up over time, and then is filtered out through the existing filtration systems that are already in place in all of the large-scale industrial fryers. If you've seen oil that hasn't been filtered and hasn't been changed, it's black. It smells. It's very, very noticeable. It's not something that you want to be consuming, and it has serious health impacts. Next slide, please. So as we're talking about, there's 3 main benefits to using Beyond Oil's product. The first one is reducing costs. If you're cutting out the amount of oil that you're using, you're cutting down your costs significantly as a restaurant or as an industrial fryer. Oil prices have skyrocketed lately. Inflation is, food prices in general have gone up substantially. Oil prices have increased dramatically. This is a real problem for restaurants that are on tight margins, and it's a pain point. So by using Beyond Oil's product, you can extend the life of the oil by up to 1,000%. Generally, you're discarding your oil after 3 to 5 days. We've taken oil up to 30 days and it's testing at contamination levels that are at or below that of new oil. So it's a highly effective product for cost savings. The next is healthier food. As you cook with oil, you build up contaminants in the oil, which are highly, highly negative for health. Many of them are carcinogenic. And if you look on our website, you'll see a recent research report that came out from the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. And it goes into the details of how Beyond Oil is a very positive impact on health by removing the carcinogenic and generally cardiovascular damaging compounds in oil after it's been cooked for an extended period of time. And the last is the sustainability side. We're reducing waste substantially. There are millions of tons of oil produced every year, and if it can only be used for 3 to 5 days and then discarded, it's an enormous waste. If you can extend your oil life by 1,000%, you're dramatically reducing the amount of discarded oil and dramatically improving your environmental impact. Producing edible oils is an environmentally harmful process, and it results in deforestation and enormous amounts of emissions. You're producing millions of tons of oil per year and shipping it around the world to only be used for a few days before being discarded because it's toxic. This is something that we can address and that we can fix. Next slide, please. And as an example here, I want to show that sustainability needs to be economically viable for it to have a long-term impact. This is an example from one restaurant. So in this example, you're increasing your oil life by 700%, and that will depend on the quality of the oil that's being used, and it will depend on the intensity of the frying. But at 700% increase in oil life, you're saving over $18,000 in this one location per year, and you're reducing your oil consumption by over 11,500 liters. If you extrapolate that out to large-scale chains with thousands of locations, or to industrial frying groups that have single fryers that are 20,000 liters, the savings are enormous. So, yeah, and if you have questions, please let me know.